Hello and welcome to another art house movie review. This time I'm reviewing the film Syndacaliste, directed by Jean-Paul Salomé. So I noticed that this has been listed at some UK cinemas as The Sitting Duck, and the French title translates as The Trade Unionist, and it seems a strange decision to me to change it. Maybe they thought The Trade Unionist sounds like a boring title, although this isn't the case for me, actually, as it's a title that attracted me. So this is based on a true story about the high-profile trade union official Maureen Kearney, who was a whistleblower in a French nuclear company. Now, I had no clue about this story, so it was really interesting to learn about it. She received threats for her actions, which resulted in a traumatic incident of being tied up and assaulted. And the film really is the story of the investigation and the legal issues around it. Now, as a thriller and investigative drama, I was really engaged with this. And as usual, Isabelle Huppert is fantastic. And the story is shocking in terms of the political system being corrupted by corporate interests. And actually, it's the French nuclear industry that owns the UK nuclear industry. So it did raise a lot of interesting questions. Right, I'm going to give a spoiler here because there is a point that needs to be discussed. Wendy Ives, who's one of the Guardian critics, felt that the audience were encouraged to question Maureen's story. And Wendy found this problematic given that she was actually telling the truth as a fact in real life. I didn't find so much of a problem here. We see that Maureen is confused in the film and isn't necessarily sure of all the facts at first. In fact, she's almost certainly traumatized. Also, she is a bit of a tough nut. She's a woman that's operating in a man's world. And one of the reasons why she's doubted is that she isn't acting like how the men in the film think she should be acting. She's kind of not the right kind of victim. And I think the fact that the audience even potentially disbelieves her is true to what could happen in real life. Also, I didn't really find Maureen particularly likeable. I was pretty much on her side throughout the film, but I did doubt whether she'd made it all up at one point. I actually think that this is a strength of the film. It shows how easy it is for the seeds of doubt to be created in a situation like this. There were a couple of things that did bother me about this film. First, there's a clandestine meeting between the police chief and the CEO of the nuclear company that seems to take place in front of the Elysee Palace. Surely such a meeting wouldn't take place there, but I guess it does provide an impressive backdrop. Second, and this is an even smaller niggle really, the real Maureen Kearney is actually Irish, and when Isabelle Huppert spoke English, she clearly sounds French. Now, Huppert's performance is so good that this slight imperfection actually bothered me, but it's really not a big deal. A final point is at the end of the film, Maureen breaks the fourth wall and looks out of the screen at the audience. And at the time, this really felt unnecessary. However, on thinking about it afterwards, the point about the audience doubting her means that this stare makes sense. She was looking at me directly saying, I know that you doubted me. Overall, I found this a really engaging film and informative given that the basic facts of the film are true, and definitely worth watching for the Isabelle Huppert performance. Thanks for watching. See you next time.